Hello, everyone, and welcome to our latest online event here at the University of California, Merced. My name is Ricky Hill. I am the e-recruiter here at UC Merced. A very big welcome to you this evening. We're always so excited that you are taking some time out to spend with us. Tonight, our special presentation for you is related to building community together, being offered by the Office of Social Justice Initiatives and Identity Programs. Before we get started, let me give you a couple of quick Zoom reminders. If you need to adjust your audio settings, you can do that in the lower left corner of your screen. If at any point you would like to zoom into something that we have on the screen, go ahead and click on View Options in the upper portion of your window. Lastly, but most importantly, we always want to get to your questions, and tonight is no different. So go ahead and click on the Q&A button that you should see on your screen. Send in those questions, and we will get to those either during the presentation behind the scenes or during a live question and answer session at the end of our great presentation tonight. Once again, my name is Ricky Hill, the e-recruiter, and at this time I'd like to hand things over to our first presenter, Camarina.
Of course. Hi, everyone. Welcome. My name is Camarina. Camarina Morales, I use she, they pronouns, and I'm here to welcome you to this session, talk to you about our office, our department, all of the really cool and exciting initiatives and programs that we do within our spaces and within our department. Thank you for sharing space with us today, being able to make it to this session, and being interested in our centers and our spaces. So I'm going to get started with a little bit of introductions, and then you'll be able to hear about our centers, what we do, why you should want to be a part of them, and how we can support you in your time at UC Merced. So I'll pass it to my colleague, Connor, who will also do a short introduction.
Hello and good evening, everyone. So happy to see you here. My name is Connor Calloway. I am the coordinator of LGBTQ+ initiatives for the Office of Social Justice Initiatives and Identity Programs. I use he, him pronouns, and I'm going to go ahead, and pass along to our first scholar coordinator joining us today, Carla.
Hello, good evening, everyone. I'm Carla DeStefan, cognitive science major with a minor in psychology, and I'm a second year here in Merced. Now I'm gonna pass it to my next peer, and that's gonna be Ruth.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ruth Ortiz. I work for the Multicultural Center as a student coordinator for pronouns. I am a fourth year studying political science and critical race and ethnic studies. And now I'll pass it on to Erica.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Erica May Palaya. I use she, her pronouns. I'm a fourth year public health major, minoring in psychology, and I work for the APRC, which is the Asian Pacific Islander Resource Center. I'm going to pass it on to Camarina.
Perfect. Okay, so now we can get started with introducing our crew. So these are the folks that support all of the students that make all of the great programs and events happen in our centers and in our spaces. So Alika wasn't able to be with us today, but Alika is our interim coordinator. They support our APIRC Center, so our Asian and Pacific Islander Resource Center, and our Multicultural Center. There is myself, who I support the Black Scholars Resource Center and our scholar coordinators within that space, and then my colleague Connor, who is the LGBTQ+ initiatives coordinator, and they support all of our LGBTQ+ initiatives. Additionally, our Pride Center and our scholar coordinators inside of that, or within that center. So thank you.
All right, so we're going to go over real quick a little bit about who we are and what it is exactly we do. Because sometimes it's not very clear. You see a big long title like ours is. So the vision for our center is for every scholar, every UC Merced student to thrive, not only on campus, but in our multicultural global society, right? Which is a really big vision. And we look to accomplish that through a specific mission, which is to aim to enhance the retention of our historically underrepresented and underserved scholars, and to foster an inclusive campus environment for all by providing opportunities for students' holistic development and intersectional community building, right? Likewise, we also like to encourage student agency. right? Our centers all have a commitment, and that is to serve UC Merced's diverse student population, our diverse scholar community. And we seek to influence university policies and practices, really to position UC Merced as a hub, as a center for transformative leadership and social change, not just on our university, but again, in society as a whole.
So next, we're going to transition into our different resource centers. So y'all will be able to really see what we do, who supports them, what are some initiatives that we have coming up or that are, what would you call them? Like traditional programs, traditional experiences, and traditional educational experiences for our students. So we're going to get started with our first one.
I work at the Multicultural Center. We sometimes can have it calling it just the MCC. And we focus on social justice, coalition building, education, training, collective healing, and student agency. The Multicultural seeks to serve the UC Merced community and aspires to cultivate and explore and provide opportunities for interactions, connections, a sense of belonging, and gain knowledge to be equipped and prepared to thrive in a diverse global society. And so our center is located in KL 169, which is the library and the first floor of the library. And our center hours are from 9 to 5. And we have 2 scholar coordinators. I am one of them, and my co-worker is Ari, and we have a free reservation system which is open to different clubs and organizations on campus. If they want to hold their events in our space, we have that reservation available for them to use our space, and it's free of charge. So a lot of different locations on campus come with a charge, but ours is free for students to use through our reservation system. We also provide free testing supplies. It's a study place and a hangout place for students to come in if they need to study or if they need to take a break from school and classwork. We're also a resource support, and we help with directions and referrals. A lot of students come into the Multicultural Center looking maybe for somewhere else, another place in the library. And so we're definitely there to help give directions to students when they can be lost sometimes. And below is our Multicultural Instagram page, where we post events or different programming that we will have in the center. So MCC programs and projects. So we have had different projects. We had the Multicultural Center reception where we had various different clubs come into our space and do tabling at our center for people to come into the center and know of the space and get familiar with the space, and then also explore different cultural clubs or organizations on campus. We have had an event and / training during the Native American Heritage Month. We also have had healing circles for students to come in when there's certain current events happening all over the world. And we have over 100 students utilize one of our largest centers that a lot of students come in and out throughout the day into our space. And lastly, we also have midterm distressors. So we like to have an educational component where sometimes we can teach students something, but at the same time want to provide a space for students to be able to de-stress and maybe take some time. I'll take some time to take some time back from like the classroom and classwork.
Awesome. Thanks, Rue. So now we have the Black Scholars Resource Center, which actually just opened up in the last few years. The university had something equivalent, but it was really small. And now we have 2 pretty large spaces in Granite Pass 101 and 102. So we actually have like a lounge space, kind of like a game room with a ping pong table, a TV, some really cool furniture. And we have like a really cool space where students can take space up in, have their club meetings, hang out, have movie nights, etc. And then our other space is utilized more as our study space. So we actually have 2 spaces now now. It's definitely grown in the past few years, and it's something that is changing as time passes. And we're really excited to see where the Black Scholars Resource Center will be in the next few years. So our center hours are very similar, 9 to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. We hope to expand. We just don't know what that'll look like yet. We have 3 scholar coordinators within our resource center right now. Goodness, Anissa, and Nyla, they're not here with us today, but they will be with us next year. So that's super exciting. If you do plan on taking up space in one of our centers, you'll be able to meet them. We additionally also have a free reservation system. And again, like Root mentioned, this is super special at the university because students don't have to pay to utilize these spaces, and they get to be in them, have their general board meetings with all of their clubs, hang out and have, movie nights or game nights or any programs that we're having throughout those specific months. So just recently was, actually we're having an upcoming game night. We had a movie night. We have lots of de-stressors, Black History Month, and I'll talk a little bit about that in the next slide as well. We additionally also have free testing supplies. We're a study and hangout space, a de-stress space when you want to leave, the library or the classroom. You can really come here and hang out. You'll see other students who look like you, who are trying to find the same resources or experience the same experiences. So it's really a space to be able to build community. And again, we're really excited that it exists on campus now and that it's going to be what we hope it is in the next few years. In addition to that, we also have resource support, direction, and referrals. So if someone comes in looking for, critical support, we'll send them a certain way. If someone's looking for a building, we'll send them another way. Our students, our scholar coordinators are really knowledgeable on campus resources, on spaces, so they're able to direct students where they need to go, or based on whether they need help with the situation. So yeah, and then this is our Instagram, which y'all should follow. We just finished doing a really cool giveaway. We actually do a fair amount of giveaways, and we post kind of like what's going on in the center, what students are doing, what programs are happening. So if you are interested, this would be a really cool space to follow, along with all of the other Instagrams that we'll showcase in a bit, but definitely follow the BSRC. And then these are some of the programs that we've had this past year, and we also hope to have in the future years. So we've had a fair amount of processing events for a lot of the situations that have happened nationally and locally in the last few years, but especially this year. We also hold a lot of like de-stress and self-care events. So we've had, free journaling, how to journal, come and have some pizza or eat some wings and hang out. We have lots of really cool events that happen in the space. We have a Black grad celebration, which is really cool. So at the end of the academic year, when you're about to graduate, we have a specific celebration for Black students or students who identify as ABC, African, Black, or Caribbean, which is also really exciting. In addition to that, we have Black History Month events and programs designated specifically for Black history. And you'll hear about the other centers and kind of what they do as well. We have movie nights and game nights. Students really get to plan and have whatever programs they want. And usually that's student driven. So if you want to see something in these spaces, if you want to experience something in these spaces, our scholar coordinators' jobs are to really take that information that you give them and create these programs for you. And then the BSRC welcome reception, very similar to the others as well, was a space where all of the Black student orgs that exist on campus came together, provided resources. We had like tabling, music, really good food, and then students were able to come, share space, learn about the resources that we have, and we actually plan to make a lot of these events that I'm speaking about traditional. So you'll see them in the years to come as well.
Thank you so much for sharing. And it's now my turn to go ahead and share a little bit of information about our LGBTQ+ Pride Resource Center. Similar to the others, we typically have a nickname for this one, and we just call it the Pride Center. So the Pride Center looks to really provide a space that is inclusive for all folks who identify within the LGBTQ+ community, right? Lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans, two-spirit, queer, questioning, asexual, intersexual, pansexual, omnisexual, same gender, like everyone. We welcome everyone, right? Everyone from the community, as well as allies to the queer community. So that would include students, faculty, staff. Again, we try to make a very inclusive environment within our Pride Center. The Pride Center also looks to help build community and really give students and staff and faculty who use the space affirmation and empowerment for their time while they're with us at UC Merced. Just like the other resource centers, we also provide a number of services and programs and resources. We are actively involved in a lot of advocacy work on campus, and there's a lot of ways for students to get involved in that advocacy. We are just like the other centers. The Pride Center is opened 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. We are actually right next to the Multicultural Center. So we are also on the first floor of the library, and we are in KL 159. Our center also has 3 scholar coordinators right now. We have Micah, Jasmine, and Robin. They weren't able to join us today, but they will be with us for the rest of the year. And for next year as well, except for one who's graduating, which would be Robin. Similar to the other programs, we also have a free reservation system so that folks can reserve the space to use for anything from game nights to club meetings to healing circles to support groups. These are just examples of some of the things that the space has been reserved for this school year thus far. We also offer free testing supplies, as well as study and hangout space and de-stress space. The Pride Center is usually very energetic, and it's very relaxed, and it's very casual, and a lot of folks really enjoy just coming in there to just de-stress from very hectic times, especially during finals and midterms. We also offer resource supports, direction and referrals. So if you ever walk into one of our centers, especially the Pride Center, and you are wanting to get information about a resource, all you have to do is talk to one of our scholar coordinators, and they will point you in the right direction to whichever office, department, or individual is going to be able to best help you with whatever it is that you need. And if we can go to the next slide, I'll give you some examples of some of the stuff that we've been doing so far this year. Thank you so much. So similar to the other programs we've talked about so far, we've also had a welcome reception, which was really fun. We had that at the beginning of the school year, and everyone came together. We shared food, we opened up the space, and we really just started the community building process. On UC Merced campus, we have a number of LGBTQ related events and programs that occur. We just got done with our campus-wide Pride Week events and workshops, which happened last week. During that time, we also finished up with our Fabulosity Drag Show, which is an annual drag show that we hold free of charge to students, where we bring in local performers as well as performers from the Bay Area, LA, San Diego, like all up and down the West Coast. So students really enjoy that every year. This year was no different. We've also done programming around Women's History Month, because we do a lot of programming around gender, right? Workshops, guest speakers, you name it, we do it. We also open up our spaces for healing circles and for community to come together in times of tragedy. So an example of this was when the Club Q shooting happened in Colorado. The Pride Center was used to hold a vigil for the community, where we had a lot of folks and a lot of resources, especially from our counseling and psychological program services, come in to really help people process what it was that was happening in the world around them. And we always like to end every year with a graduation celebration to honor all of our LGBTQ plus identifying graduates from UC Merced. That's actually happening next Friday. So it's something that everyone, again, really looks forward to, and it's going to be a blast if you happen to come and join us for it.
And lastly, we have the Asian and Pacific Islander Resource Center, also known as the APRC. So the APRC just recently opened up last November, which makes it fairly new. So the Asian Pacific Islander Resource Center will aim to promote and provide a safe space for progressive dialogue to manifest for students in the Asian and Pacific Islander diaspora. The API Cultural Resource Center aims to increase the retention of UCM scholars identifying in the API diaspora by providing a support system to navigate academia and the professional world, while empowering scholars in their intersectional identity. Through the work accomplished at this center, we will preserve, uplift, and showcase the history and voices of the Asian Pacific Islander communities. As for the center, we are located at Sentinel Rock 101 and 102. Sentinel Rock 101 is actually our conference room, and Sentinel Rock 102 is our lounge where our scholar coordinators base. The center hours for the APRC is 9 to 5, and the two scholar coordinators currently working at the APRC are myself and my colleague, Vervanchi. We offer different resources to students or API organizations. API organizations or students are allowed to reserve any of the 2 rooms at the APRC, but we also offer a storage space for API organizations where they're able to store their props, their costumes and equipment, and etc. Just like the other centers, we offer testing supplies, a study/hangout space, and a de-stress space if they need it, say they're going between classes, they just need a place to hang out for a little bit. And as scholar coordinators, we offer resource support and direction and referral to students. And down below is our Instagram right there at UCM APRC. And as for our events, we have different type of events. So since it just opened up recently, we just had our welcome reception as well, just like the other centers. We basically celebrated the grand opening of the APRC to students. We had a different APR organizations table. We also had different performances as well as catering, and also we offered boba to the students, free boba. But yeah, and then we also host de-stress and self events. For example, we recently just had a game night where students can go to the center and just play some board games and just de-stress from school, since school is very stressing. We also had our Holi Festival, which is celebrating the Hindu festival of the Holi. Our Bobcats painted shirts, rocks, and we made a live art for the center, and it's currently up at the center right now. We also had another de-stress event, such as it was called Coffee and Chill. And since college can be very stressful for students, we hosted a Coffee and Chill day where students can get coffee and enjoy some donuts. And since API Heritage Month is next month, we are hosting an event called the API Cultural Food Day next week to celebrate all of the API organizations on campus while having a variety of API food. And API organizations will also be tabling with activities from their cultures as well as performances from the API organizations.
Hey, so I'm gonna be introducing some activities that we have available within our centers that you guys as students can get involved. So one of the ways that you guys can get involved are joining a program or a committee. We also have very large and small programs happening all year round. You just need to email us to find out about it. And also our social media, we advertise a lot of our events in social media as well. There is a lot of shows that we host. Recently, we just had the drag show. It was a very successful show and very fun. And as you can see, there is also social justice retreat, Pride Week, Cultural Heritage Month celebration, cultural graduation celebrations. And as you were hearing from my co-workers, we also have a lot of events going on weekly in our centers. But yeah, and one way to really get to know our staff and everything is just visiting our centers. I really like our main office because it offers a lot of the business cards that you can just get there for free and email us, get in contact with us to get to know more about our events. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. I would like to take this time to facilitate a discussion with the rest of the scholar coordinators that just spoke to you about our various centers. just to give everyone an idea of what it is like to be a student with various intersectional identities here at UC Merced. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll start with the first question, which would be, how would you describe the culture at UC Merced to someone who has never been to campus before? And we'll go ahead and we'll start with Root, if you could answer this for us first.
Yes, I would say that the culture on campus is very welcoming and friendly. A lot of students are like open to like share their experiences with you. Um, and so that's kind of like the experience that I would have, like just welcoming, like especially our centers too. We students come in and they may not like know about our multicultural center, but we'll like introduce them, let them know like, hey, we have this space available for you. And so I think that would definitely be the culture of the campus, just being very welcoming to students and very friendly. It's like very easy to make friends on campus.
Thank you. Erica, if you could share a little bit of your experience, that would be very appreciated.
Yes. So how would I describe the culture at UC Merced? I would say it's very diverse here. Everyone, like just like what Ruth said, it's very welcoming. And joining organizations is also very helpful in being a part of departments because you're able to like connect with others that are like in the same interest as you. So I would say like the campus is also very beautiful and like I would say like the different resource centers also like shows that like we want to expand all of the cultural awareness to the UC Merced students. So I would say like the culture is very welcoming and there's also like a very diverse cultural setting at UC Merced.
Thank you so much, Erica. And then Carla, if you could share a little bit about your experience, please.
So like Erica was saying, our campus is really beautiful. We're very lucky. There is a lot of relaxing and very calming spaces all around the campus. Library is really big. Like more the fourth floor, it's really empty all the time, more in the morning time. But there is also like places outside, not just within the building, but outside. With like I'm saying, very calming, and it's just really nice just to go and hang out. We also have the Yosemite Lake that it's really close by. And it's a really more if you're living on campus, it's really nice to just go out for a walk with your friends. And definitely my personal experience has been my best memories, I would say, would be like going for walks to Yosemite Lake with my friends. More in the summer, it's really nice. We have beautiful sunsets. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We'll go ahead and we'll move to the next question, which is, what was something about the campus community that surprised you when you first started your journey at UC Merced? And Ruth, if we can start with you again, that'd be fantastic.
Yes. What was surprising to me about UC Merced was just how everyone was really willing to help you if you had like questions and guide you in the proper direction. I remember my first year on campus, I came as undecided for my major, so I definitely like just had questions like on which way should I lead. And I remember my RA like, okay, you have to go to your advisor. And I was like, okay. And then they were like, oh, maybe you should go to the career center too, to like have some like tests so you can like figure out what you would like to study. And so just how welcoming, just how everyone was really very willing to help you and answer your questions. I would reach out to some students that like were like a little bit older or that I had in a class, and I'd be like, hey, like what are you doing, like what have you done on campus, like how can I get involved? And they were definitely very like willing to share just what they have done on campus and their experience on campus. And so that was what surprised me, because I used to be a very shy person, and I didn't like to ask questions, but definitely like, coming to campus and asking questions was very helpful. And then these people on campus were very like willing to like help me and guide me to the right resources. And so that was something that was surprising and very helpful for my growth.
Thank you so much for sharing. Erica, could you share something with us as well?
Yes. So as a first year, we do live on campus, and one of like the things that surprised me was they actually provided a lot of mixers for like the first year students. And just to get to know everyone, like I still see like people from my first year like around campus. So it's pretty cool. Also, like there's like a lot of tabling for different organizations. So if you're interested in like certain organizations or you're still unsure of like what organizations you want to be a part of, there's a lot of tabling that happens and you're able to like know what the clubs are about, or even like, yeah, different organizations and know what they're about. But also for me, different having like different mentors, like especially from the organization that I am a part of, they were very helpful during my journey, but also like my transition away from home, like being away from home, because it is difficult to like adapt to a new environment, but just having like being surrounded by like people who understand like being away from home, it's just like it was just like a better transition for me.
Thank you so much.
I can go ahead and answer that question as well. Something that really surprised me about campus when I first came was that like people are very sweet and welcoming. They will talk to you, which I think it's really awesome. Another thing that really surprised me was that there is a lot of events that the school hosts for students. I remember that my first year we had like a party kind of thing that was very, very fun. And I was definitely not expecting anything of that. Uh, More like being hosted by school, which I thought was really cool because you don't need to put yourself in danger going outside of campus. You have it there, like all the fun that you can have. I really like and appreciate the show that we have of Coachella. I think it's another opportunity for people to come out and just enjoy themselves in a very safe space as well. But yeah, that's what I have to share.
Thank you so much. So we'll go ahead and move to our third question then, which is, what has been the role of places on campus, such as cultural resource centers, for you and or your friends here at UC Merced?
Yeah, like the role of these spaces has been well, at first it was like just a space to come in and like relax or use it as a study space sometimes, or sometimes just come in and sit there and wait for a little bit for our class. The MTC has couches, has tables, and so that's very um very like relaxing sometimes if you want to sit like just like on a couch instead of a chair, because we're like at our desk, like at desk all the time during our classes. So that's like very helpful in providing an environment that can be a little bit away from school, which is like still within the school, but it's not, I guess, in the classroom environment. And so that has been very helpful and has been just like a hangout place as well, and definitely um has been um like good place. There are good places on campus, and it's just a good place to come and relax like in between your classes, especially for students that like live students that live on campus and off campus as well. But off campus students, they're usually on campus all day, and so having that space to take a break in between classes is very helpful.
I'll go next. I would say definitely the APRC has been very helpful to my organization. So I'm a part of the Filipinx American Alliance, also known as PAA. Ever since my first year, we've always had trouble finding a storage space to keep all of our props, we have a dance called tinikling, which is like, you basically use like big bamboo sticks. And in my first year, I remember we used to like store them into like others' dorms, so we wouldn't have to like transport it all the time. But having the APRC, they have a storage unit big enough to like hold those different props. And I believe that that has been such a like big help for us to like not stress about like where we're gonna keep our stuff, where we're gonna like, you know, also like the space is also like used for like a meeting space. So also like not finding classrooms to like have our meeting space. There's already one that's for us. I would say having the EPRC and like just the different resource centers, like it's a place to hang out, to study. Like I do my homework there all the time, and I know a lot of my friends, and like, you know, we all go there to hang out. Like we can take naps in there. It's also like a good space for like commuters, such as myself right now, since I do live off campus. It's a good place to like, find like a quiet space where you can just like chill and like, but like between the gaps of your classes, like it's just like, I don't know. I'm so sorry. I'm just like rambling right now, but like I really do think that the resource centers are very helpful. No matter if you live on or off campus, what organization you're in. But yeah.
I think one of like the transitions I had from my first year, like the places I would always go would be the library. That was the first place that I felt really comfortable. Most like I really like how big the library is, but also the different options that it offers. You can reserve rooms, like private rooms with doors and everything, and just study there. It also has like wood tables, but also has really comfortable seats as well. So I really like that, but then I changed it to the community lounge in Sentinel Rock. That was another building that just opened this year, and I really enjoy being there. The staff is so sweet and so welcoming. They host so many great events as well, engaging events. There is like, but they teach salsa and bachata sometimes there. And then my last favorite one, like that one that I found at the very end and at the beginning of this year, was the multicultural center. I really like it because it was even more quiet than the other places. There was not a lot of people, and there like you can take naps in there as well. And as a person who lives off campus and having those big gaps between classes, you really need naps sometimes. So yeah, that's what I have to share. Thank you.
A good nap is always a great time. So thank you so much for sharing. We're going to go ahead and move into our last question now, and that is, what would be your advice for new students coming to campus, looking to build community in connection with their identities?
Yeah. My advice to new students would be to come into the campus with like an open mind, and just be open to like the different cultures that are on campus, and the different identities on campus, and just being open and willing, having the willingness to like meet new people, reach out and connect with like our centers, our staff. That would be my advice, because if like you're willing to do so, like there's going to be people that are willing to like make new friends, like especially like as first years. That's what I think the first like few months of starting at colleges is like making friends, joining organizations, and that could be cultural clubs or organizations on campus or resource centers. So I would definitely say come with like an open mind and willingness to learn about different cultures, and because you can learn like even something new about your own culture on campus.
Just like what my colleague Ruth said, keep an open mind when coming to campus. It is going to be a different environment, especially if you're not from Merced or from like CV, Central Valley. So just keep an open mind on like different resources that's being offered to you, and be open to join like different organizations. I know there are a lot of organizations who are like, mostly all of them, like even if you don't identify as that, like, that culture, you can still like join different organizations. Also, don't be afraid to like go into like different centers and also asking for help, because there are going to be a lot of people on campus willing to help you and kind of guide you on like what you need help on. And also like the different resource centers, it's open to all students. Like you don't have to identify as like either of like, say like, you don't have to identify as Asian, like you could just come in and like we'll welcome you. But and yeah, and also like having a really good support group is really helpful, especially if you are away from home. I know my first year I became very homesick, and just having like my friends around that I have met, it really helped just like kind of adapting to the environment and kind of just, you know, learning the new ways of being in Merced because it is going to be different, especially yeah, what I said. But yeah.
I think my first point that I would like to address is that if you're gonna be living on campus, I'm sorry, and you're gonna have a roommate, that's gonna be the first person you're gonna interact with. And my advice would be to be like genuine and open with that person, because since you're gonna be spending most of the time in your room like with that person, it would be nice to start there, and like having your roommate as your ally, if in a sense, not just your friend but also as your ally. And that comes because like let's say they know people on campus already, and then you already are like, because you have a good connection with them, you can get to know those people as well and feel more like have and meet more people. Also because I don't know, but many of the times if you're by yourself, you probably would not like to go to an event by yourself. But if you have your roommate and both of you are like, okay, you know what, there is this event, let's go check it out. If we like it, we stay. If we don't, we leave. But having that ally there. So that would be my advice. I was very lucky with my roommate. I remember that just like Erica, I was very homesick of like the first day. I was even crying. I was being really vulnerable. And my roommate, without knowing me, like she was there, very supportive. And that same night we went out to the Bobcat event that was there for the freshmen. And yeah, it was really fun. So your roommate, guys.
Thank you so much to all of our scholar coordinators for sharing your experiences and your insight. We really appreciate it. That is going to conclude our conversations with the coordinator, and I will pass things over to Ricky.
Thank you so much, Connor. And thank you to all of our great panelists that are here sharing that personal firsthand experience as a current Bobcat with all of our fantastic resources that we have. So there's really nothing more valuable than getting that peer-to-peer information for our audience tonight. We do actually have some other questions that are coming in. So let me go ahead and grab a couple of these. Anyone that is on the panel with us tonight, if any of you would like to join me on screen and just go ahead and answer any of these questions, feel free to do that. The first one I'm going to throw out is, does UC Merced allow for you to use your preferred or chosen name versus your given name? And if any of you have experience with that, either from yourself or maybe a friend, colleague, a roommate, someone that you may know on campus.
I actually want to answer that question. Yes. People here are very respectful when it comes about that, even your pronouns. That's gonna be a question. Back at home, I didn't even know that question existed. What are your pronouns? I was never asked that before, but when I came here was my first time that people asked me what my pronouns were, and also what was my preferred name. Even when you're applying for jobs or you're signing up for events, you have the option that you put your name, but also like your preferred name as well.
I can give a little, oh, you want to
Yeah,
go first, Marina?
Nope, that's exactly what I was gonna say. I was gonna say, Connor, I think you'll have really good insight on this too. So thanks for tapping in.
Of course, thank you. So to build off of what Carla was saying, yes, folks are very accepting and very responsive to using people's preferred names and pronouns. But when it comes to things such as what I'm sure other folks are worried about when like roll call and things like that, the UC is very good and is doing very good work about making sure that if people have preferred names or differing pronouns from what, you know, their legal documents might say, that we acknowledge and we recognize those, and that those are the names and pronouns that are used while you are on campus, and for all of the documentation that we are allowed to use them on under federal law, right? And UC is still currently working on also improving that, and it is an ongoing thing. But yes, UC Merced is very accepting and respects people's preferred pronouns and lived names.
I do want to add one more thing, and this is just like logistical, and maybe it doesn't even have to be this deep, but I do think it's an important question. I also want to add that all UCs are being charged in honoring and respecting and abiding by folks' preferred names. So that's something that actually was implemented, which sorry, Connor could also add to if they have anything else to say. We were charged by the Office of the President, and it's something that we're slowly transitioning out to make more sustainable, more inclusive, but all UCs are actually charged with this same charge. So any UC that you go to, which is really, really good, will have this charge as well. So across all of the UCs, you can expect this to be honored. Now, yes, we honor it, but every other university also should, and they will start to after the charge from the Office of the President, which happened last year. So just to add a little more, because it is a really, really critical and important question.
I have something more to add to that. I actually like describing my journey here at Merced as something that like a place perfect to start a new life, the life that you choose to build. Coming from like a very hard background and everything here, like I'm saying, that's how I can describe it. And perfect opportunity, open space, welcoming people, like they accept you as you present yourself, so you can be whoever you want to be here at UC Merced. And I mean that with my heart.
Wow, that's so incredible. Thank you all so much for those heartfelt responses. I'm in fact learning even more about UC Merced as I sit through this event with all of you. So thank you so much for making this into such a fantastic teaching moment for all of us here. The next question I have, it's jumping over to the topic of housing. And so the question is, do we offer any type of LGBTQ+ housing on campus? And if we do, or if we don't, how do they kind of navigate our housing opportunities here?
Another fantastic question that I will happily answer for you. So the first part that I want to address with that question, there is no specific segregated housing somewhere out there on campus just for LGBTQ folks, right? LGBTQ folks live in the dorms with everyone else. Now, as an LGBTQ person, you may go through housing and request that the people you are housed with in your dorm room specifically are also either LGBTQ+ identifying or are allies of LGBTQ+. So housing at UC Merced, as well as across the UC system, I should say, works very hard to make sure that LGBTQ+ first years especially, or any students that are living in the dorms, are comfortable and safe with their accommodations. Now, should anyone who gets into a situation where they feel like their roommate is not someone that they feel safe or comfortable with, then all you would need to do is talk to the residence folks, and they would work out basically a shuffling to put you in a position where you do in fact feel safe with whoever it is that you're rooming with.
I want to add to that. Also, on the RAs that are gonna be in charge of the floor that you're gonna be living on, they are very active and they keep a really good communication with everybody. I believe my RA, my freshman year, was using Teams, and every concern or anything that you had, you could ask them. There is also you're gonna have like very direct communication with them, seeing them in the building in person as well if you prefer that. but it's really easy to get in contact with them regarding of anything, any issue or question that you have. Also like cleaning tools that you need to clean your room, like vacuums and everything, you need to let them know about that, and they're gonna provide you with a vacuum so you can clean your room. So that's why I'm saying it's a very direct communication that you guys gonna have with them.
I also wanted to add one more thing in regards to housing. So something that you might have, the person who asked this, also might be asking is there are a lot of themed housing, sometimes living learning communities that exist on different college campuses, which are super critical to students feeling included and engaged and safe. So although those spaces like LGBTQ housing or trans inclusive housing don't exist right now, it doesn't mean that it won't exist in the future. I don't want to make that promise, but that's definitely a part of like why our departments exist, why Connor's position exists, is we want to advocate for ways to increase student safety, students' sense of belonging, and students' engagement here on campus. And there is a lot of research and a lot of, just knowledge out there that shows that those spaces are important. And I think if you just give us a little bit of time, I think as the university grows and as we continue to change, I wouldn't call it evolve because we don't have to evolve to know that this is the need. I think, in the future, it's something that you could see happening at UC Merced. Again, I just think because we're such a new university, we're trying to level at where everyone else is. And it's definitely something that I think should happen in the future. And that would be labeled as like themed housing or living learning communities. So just in case for the student that asked that question, if you're looking for that type of engagement or experience on another campus, that is something you could look into, and it's called theme housing and living learning communities.
Thank you. I'm going to add actually one more component to not only my answer, but to answer an additional question that's related to what was originally asked. So all of our dormitory buildings also include all gender inclusive restrooms. There are LGBTQ friendly facilities in all of our student living. There are also similar facilities across our campus. Okay, we are in the process right now of making sure that those facilities are exceptionally easy to find for folks, so you don't have to go running around campus to look for them. But should you attend UC Merced and you are having a hard time or a difficulty locating facilities that you feel safe using, stop by our office and I will gladly pull out a map and highlight every single section where you can go to on campus. So I just want to make sure that folks know that that is also a resource available for you.
Fantastic. Great information once again. We do have just a few minutes left here in our presentation tonight. Let's see if we can get another question in. So do we have any more tips for incoming freshmen? Is there anything that any of y'all would like to mention tonight, specific that might help an incoming freshman this fall of 2023?
Social media for different programs, event clubs and everything. It's very important to follow them. You're gonna see events all around, like the year round, but also like, let's say you walk into your dorm and you see this event going on, you can feel welcome to just go stop by it and just check it out with an open mind. And I think you can have a really great time without even planning. I don't know, sometimes you have the best times when you don't even plan to have it. So that'll be my advice.
An advice that I would say, since you guys do have orientation during the summer, that's when I like met some of my friends, was through orientation. So definitely meeting up with like some friends that you've made during orientation, and like especially keeping open mind like during orientation, because you're probably gonna feel overwhelmed of like the different space and how many people are gonna be there. Also the hotness, but also also just like keep an open mind of like trying to make new friends, and just like what Carlos said, like have an open mind going to different events. Even if you're going alone, you never know if you're gonna meet someone new. I definitely have met a lot of people during like different events that they've hosted for first years. So yeah.
So my advice for incoming freshmen is pretty straightforward. Take advantage of whatever opportunities are presented to you. Don't let them go to waste, and don't be afraid to ask for help if you need it. There are people here and anywhere to help you.
Fantastic.
I did have one more thing to add, if that's okay, Ricky.
Sure, absolutely.
I just wanted to say, I think what everyone said is super, super important. And also, in addition to that, is do your best if you're able, and if you're able, do your best to seek opportunities, to reach out to people that you know can support you. Go to our offices, ask questions, do whatever it is you need to do to get whatever it is that you need, because not all of the time resources or experiences or programs are everywhere. They just happen to happen, or they're not advertised as much, but they're happening. So please seek as much as you can, and you'll be able to find opportunities or resources or funds that sometimes we don't know are out there. I know for me, when I was an undergrad, finances were really big for me, and I didn't know that you can apply to different scholarships yearly. So I only applied during my first year of school, and I never looked for any other scholarships. Apply to different scholarships if funds are something that you know, you are low on, or you need, or etc. Reach out to people who are extending to you, check in with people, and we're here for you. Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. We want to support, so let us and come by and come through.
Wonderful information and insight from everyone on tonight. So right now we are wrapping up, but go ahead and grab your smartphone and take a quick picture of that slide that you see. You will want to look at that later on so that you have access to that email address and the Instagram handle that you see there. And definitely reach out at another time if you are interested in anything that you've heard tonight, or possibly have some follow-up questions. Before we do end, though, I do have a couple announcements I would like to share with you. If you are a new incoming student for the fall of 2023, or maybe you haven't committed yet with your statement of intent to register, but you plan to pretty soon, then you may have already heard of the Bobcat Den. If you haven't, let me tell you a little bit about it. It is a social platform for you and for the incoming class in the fall of 2023. You will be receiving, if you haven't already, a special invitation just for you. And basically what you'll be able to find in that Bobcat Den is a place where you can start to build new friendships before you even arrive to UC Merced or even step foot on our campus. Something else that you'll be able to have the opportunity to do is ask your questions. Any question that you have, you'll have access to not only current Bobcats, but also staff and faculty and everyone that's been on this event tonight. There's basically representatives across our entire campus that have partnered with us in this Bobcat Den. So keep a lookout for that invitation, or you can click on the link that we will drop over into the chat box for that website for more information. Couple other quick announcements. If you haven't yet heard of Bobcat Day, it is coming up in just a few days. It is on Saturday, April 22nd. We will drop that link for you as well over into the chat box. If you haven't yet registered, hop on over there, get yourself signed up. You can take a look at the detailed agenda that we have for this Saturday. Some of the things that you'll be able to see on the agenda and experience this Saturday would be a campus tour. You'll be able to meet faculty. Like I said, everyone on the event tonight and all of our webinars, we will all be there in person to actually see you, not just through a laptop screen, but in person. We have over 150 tabling events that we will be offering that day that will be giving you the experience to meet everyone and anyone at a campus club, a student-run organization, the Greek organizations. Every department on campus will be represented, including admissions and financial aid as well. You'll be able to get a housing tour, have lunch on our beautiful campus at the dining pavilion. Sky's the limit. We also have wonderful performances scheduled for you, everything ranging from our dance team and cheer team, martial arts club, as well as many different musical ensembles, including the UC Merced Band. Definitely do not want to miss out. Bobcat Day is this Saturday, the 22nd. The website's in the chat box. Get yourself registered. It is the biggest event of the year. You do not want to miss it. Now, in case you do happen to miss that, don't worry. We also offer campus tours all days of the week at many different times. We also offer our campus tours in person and in Spanish. So if that is a language that is more comfortable for you or your family and guests, feel free to request that service and we will make that accommodation for you and offer you that in-person tour in Spanish. Two more things I'll mention, then I'll let you go for tonight. We have two opportunities for you. One is called Experience UC Merced. The other is called Inside UC Merced. Both of those opportunities are available for you to register online. The spots are filling up quickly, so go ahead and hop over to the events page to get yourself registered. Now, both of these programs offer you similar things. One, you can actually attend a UC Merced lecture. You can go to the classroom just as if you were enrolled now and see what that experience is all about. You'll be able to have lunch in our dining pavilion, take a campus tour again. We'd love to get you on our campus to take a look at all of our beautiful buildings and landscaping. But the difference with the Insight program, that one actually offers you an overnight stay in one of our residence halls. Once again, go ahead and click on over to the events page so that way you can get yourself signed up for one of those fantastic opportunities. They are filling up quickly. But of all else, Bobcat Day is this Saturday. We would love, love, love to see you there, meet you in person, help you submit your statement of intent to register to help you become a Bobcat. Once again, this event has been recorded. It will be available on that events page as an on-demand instant replay. The link will take you to our YouTube, where you will find tons of other events that we've already had as well. Once again, my name is Ricky Hill. It has been so much fun to be with you tonight. Such a great learning opportunity for all of us here. Have a wonderful night, and we hope to see you very soon. Thank you so much for joining us.